you have magic. The name
Yeah.
of my coaching program is the Rad Academy, powered by the Magical Motherfucker Method. And I teach you how to be a magical motherfucker, but like your
I love
own,
that.
right? Like it's so authentic. And I was afraid to share that because of the judgment.
It's going to bother some people. Some people have been like,
Absolutely.
what the fuck did that guy just say? And then
Yeah.
other people are going to be like, I know what he's talking about. Like, there is fucking magic in me. I absolutely believe that you and everyone on the planet is capable of being a magical motherfucker, hands down.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Welcome back to the Artful Dollar podcast. Ryan Roy here, tattooer, seeker, curious human being, love going where people are uncomfortable going in conversations. That's why I talk about money, but I love talking about anything and all things. And I have a guest on the podcast today who's an individual who our orbits kind of circled a little bit about a year ago. And I've just been wondering when our paths would truly collide. And so I'm stoked to chat with tattooer and also tattoo coach, Robbie Ripoll of the Rad Movement. Robbie, thank you for joining me today.
Howdy. Thank you. So this is a new thing for me right quick. I usually don't ever correct people, but since we're on a podcast, my last name is Ripoll.
Oh, Ripoll. Okay. Do you want me to redo that or?
No, I don't give a shit. Like, you can keep this in. That's fine. Unless you want to redo it. But, like, Donna's new thing, that's my fiance. She says if you're invited to the wedding, she's going to do it by phone call. And if you can't say my last name properly, then you don't get invited to the wedding.
Excellent. So I will, Ripoll. I'll say it right. When I get the call, I'll be like, Ripoll.
Right? She's going to make it all secretive. But yeah. And like I said, usually I don't correct people. She's the corrector.
No, I don't want it at all.
But we're here, you know?
All.
It's a weird thing about boundaries too, right? Because like being a coach, that is one of the things I help people teach. And like creating a boundary of, hey, this is my last name. You know, like it's not the worst thing. And especially in a situation like this. So
I just want to start off the bat. What the fuck is the Rad Movement? Let's just get right to it.
So what the fuck is the Rad Movement? I'll give you the short, long story. So I was on Ink Master in 2014. I didn't win, of course, and I hated myself for that. I was really deep and low. I thought I was going to get off TV and be rich and famous. And I was. Like, I was very financially well off, and I was very well known. And I still didn't feel like I was doing it. I felt really lost. I felt very suicidal and embarrassed to share my suicidal thoughts with anyone, including my wife at the time. And I don't really like sharing a lot of that story, but the money there was going really wrong. And it was because I didn't feel like dealing with the money and I had it in the hands of the wrong person. So all the money I was making, I wasn't seeing any of it. So it was really hard to feel positive about money, business, you know, the TV show I was just on that was supposed to skyrocket my career and all this shit, right? So I wanted to kill myself a lot. So I Googled how to be happy one day and I found Brendan Burchard and this lesser known dude named Bill Barron and this other dude named Lewis Howes. And these dudes are awesome. And they really helped me out of my hole, right? They don't even know it. Actually, I met Lewis one time at a book signing, but like he probably still doesn't even know it, right? They don't know what they did for me.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, if these random white dudes that are just really nice guys and have great information to hand over have helped me so much and we don't even really speak the same language, what could I do for the tattoo community? Because I do speak their language. How can I take the things that these guys are doing that I'm already doing? Because I've been a motivational person most of my life. Giving love is important to me. My dad didn't access emotions as a 6'4" large, scary Cuban man. So like I wanted to access my emotions and help others. So really, and I learned that later on with the Rad Movement as I've been doing a lot of like inner healing with my father work and stuff. So basically the Rad Movement is this place where you can go for motivation if you like the word fuck in a simple breakdown. It's kind of like Gary Vee meets like more mainstream motivational because he's like business motivational and I'm like transformative. Business is a part of it. But like, it was very hard for me to understand what the Rad Movement was for many years.
Sure.
And so like, I just kept doing it.
You
Yeah,
just felt called, and you're just
right.
like, I'm going to do that. And I personally believe that your authentic self-expression is your most valuable asset. You will never possess anything. You will never own anything other than your truest, most authentic self-expression.
Yep.
And it can be confusing. I don't think most people really know what it is. I don't know that I honestly know what that is for me. It's a discovery process.
Absolutely.
And all you have to do is lean into it and trust and give as few fucks as you possibly can about what anyone else could possibly think about it.
And you know, that's the hard part. You
That's
said
the
it in the
hard part.
beginning, the tattoo coach part of this, right? So, like, I'm this tattooer. I don't want to really go into details, but I had a mentor and a coach in this business, in the coaching business in the tattoo space. You're
Sure.
familiar with the story. A
Yeah,
lot of
yeah.
people are. You can find it on my Rad Movement page. It's not hard to
Sure.
find.
Yeah.
And I deeply loved this man, and I deeply devoted a lot of time and energy in the things he coached me on. And on top of my own imposter syndrome, then I was like, I don't really like what this guy's doing. This is kind of shady. I'm out. So now I'm this new tattoo coach, and I'm like, fuck this business. Fuck the coaching business. It's not real. You know, this shit's fucked. I'm just like these other people that are fucking snake oil salesmen. And like, granted, there was good information in that program I was in. There was a lot of other stuff, like I said. But
Yeah.
like, there's good information in the coaching space everywhere from people that aren't necessarily your coach and aren't
Sure.
necessarily the right coach. So I was like, fuck, am I even a good coach? Do I even know what the fuck I'm doing? Does anybody even get value from my program? Fuck. So like I went in this big spiral worrying about what people thought. And I was like, well, I filled this program enough. I don't think I'm ever going to fill another program. So I stopped coaching.
Mm.
And I let my imposter syndrome get in the way. I let my worries get in the way. I let that personal / business situation relationship get in the way. And how the fuck am I going to do that being a coach, right? I'm the coach that says don't give up on these things. So it was a very interesting dichotomy for me to roll through all the imposter syndrome feelings and all the things that I didn't think I was doing right. Fast forward about a year, here I am. I just did another seminar. I've done many in the past, but this one felt different. It was called Tattooers Do Fucking Cry.
Mm.
Yeah. And the subtitle was something like, breaking the stereotypes with toughness and tattooing. So let's talk about the tattoo community support group that you and I recently connected in or reconnected
Yeah.
in. That started out as the support group. You know, fucking, I'm not even going to fucking hide things anymore. I started
Don't
out
worry
as
about
a TBM,
it.
started as a TBM support group.
Yeah.
People that were in TBM that their businesses had not done well after getting the coaching. And so it was a place we all needed at that point in time. And we made that group about 9 months ago. I saw a lot of healing in that group for the people that were coming to just share their experiences. Because, like, for me, TBM was a great experience with the networking.
Yeah.
The information was great information, but it wasn't put to me in the way that made sense. So I couldn't make it make sense and I couldn't put it into practice. So
Yeah.
that's where the bad coaching for me came in. So I was like, look, we all know my story, and if you don't, you can find it on the internet. Just type in my name in TBM, and it's going to show up.
Sure.
Once we made that, Donna, my fiance, baby mama, business partner, all these things, she was
Many
like, "Yo, we
titles.
need to make." The powerhouse,
Yeah.
She was like, "Yo, we need to make this," and I was like, "Fuck, man, I'm already hurting him enough by going out against him. I don't want to hurt him more by creating this group." But then I realized, fuck him, like. Respectfully, like I don't really have any beef with the dude,
Sure.
but like these people that were affected negatively need a place to go. And I remember in diving deep in podcasts and books and all this stuff years ago when I started the Rad Movement, I remember I was like, okay, how do I make something impactful and valuable? And I remember one of the dudes was like, it was this dude, Pat Flynn, and he told his whole story about how he made this like cheat sheet for his career field when he was in college. And then that made him so much money. And it was such a great investment in him and everyone else. And he was like, make the things for other people, but make them for you. And then the other people will find them. Because if you make it for you, right? So then fast forward 10 years later, I finally figured out how to make something for me that has been helping other people. Actually, I've been doing it with the Rad Movement this whole time. But for some reason, with this last seminar I did and the support group, it's clicking. and I no longer feel like an imposter. I actually feel like I'm doing something here.
Awesome.
So making something that people need has actually helped me before the dollars have even rolled in with it, really. Because now I'm just like, dude, this is fucking great. I get on the fucking on my Facebook and I'm like, let's check the tattoo community support group. This is awesome. And every day people are sharing things. Like today somebody went in anonymously so they could share about their thing, and like I was able to like drop a quick comment while I was in the bathroom and like helped this person. So I can help
Yeah.
people from all different weird places, right? So
All different weird places.
all
I
different
love
weird
it.
places. Yeah.
And
So
I think that, you know, it's interesting. So coaching is something that I have been a part of my whole life. I have worked with coaches, consultants. I've taken courses. My father he's kind of like a consultant, a spiritual seeker. He does a lot of work in the addiction space.
okay.
And so it's made such a big impact. There are human beings on this planet that because I came into interaction with them and I worked with them as my coach, my life is so much better because of those human beings. And I think about them, and no one knows them, and they might not be the right coach for someone else, but they were certainly the right coach for me. And I just know, like, my life was spiraling into a fucking chaotic shithole mess. Like, I could have gone a million. In fact, yesterday was 11 years of sobriety for me. Like, if I hadn't had mentors, coaches, some of them are mentors that I didn't pay to work with. Some of them I did. I had gladly paid to work with, but it completely saved and made my life. And the caveat is there is a ton of bullshit out there. There's a ton of snake oil, weird, scammy shit out there. And I accept that people who don't know me are going to look at me and they're going to group me in with that. And that's okay. I don't take it personally. I'm going to keep shining my light. I'm going to keep providing value. Like you said, I'm going to keep giving value for free, whether you work with me or not. And then if you find that something I'm doing is really helping you, like the free shit, you should check out what I do in my course, you know?
Yeah. It's funny you say that because like I think I have now removed the hurdle of how do I be an effective coach? Am I doing the right things here? Because you know, for a new coach, I've been coached. I've paid lots of money for coaching, but I've never had a coach that I'm like, that one changed shit for me. And so I gave up on it for a period while I was coaching. So I'm like, this is weird. And then I saw the value I brought some of those people in my course. And I was like, wow, hold on. I actually brought value to you in you know, while I'm sitting in this room in front of a computer, you know, talking to you, hoping I'm giving value. Wait, I actually gave more value than the free stuff. Okay. So, you know, it's interesting how you fall into knowing that you're giving value, you know, how you get past the imposter syndrome. And because of the community support group, I've been celebrating a lot of people's losses. Like, hey, I'm glad you went through that because look at how strong it's going to make you. Look at how confident it's going to make you. Look at how much you're learning from this. So it turns around and it celebrates my losses. And I'm like, fuck you, idiot. You have magic. Like, the name of my coaching program is the Rad Academy, powered by the Magical Motherfucker Method. And I teach you how to be a magical motherfucker. But, like,
I love that.
Right? Like, it's so authentic and it's so real. And it's teaching you how to be your own magical motherfucker. And I was afraid to share that because of the judgment. I was afraid to share that because I felt like a fake. And
well, you know what that is. What I love about that, the Rad Academy powered by the Magical Motherfucker method. Is that What I love about that is that it's going to bother some people. Some people have been like, "What the fuck did that guy just say?" And then other people are going to be like, I know what he's talking about. Like, there is fucking magic in me. If I'm fucking honest with myself, the fact that we are on this motherfucking rock floating around a fireball in the massive fucking space of nothingness is nothing but pure fucking miracles and magic. And if you just own that you do have fucking, you're a walking, talking, conscious fucking thing. And that's not fucking magical. Like, own it, and then let's step into that. I absolutely believe that you and everyone... I think everyone on the planet is capable of being a magical motherfucker, hands down.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to use her name because she's doing so positive right now and doing so well in the tattoo world. Erica Chandler. she took my course and she was like, yo, I don't really know what I'm doing with this. You know, I'm doing this and it's not really working. And we were like, yo, shift your focus. Look at this. And like watching her step into her magic. And like she just shared in the community support group this morning how she did her first seminar and had the attendance numbers of some people with big names in the industry and was just like so overwhelmed with how well she did. And I'm like, damn, dog, fuck yeah. Like I ran into another artist that I worked with at a convention 2 weeks ago, and she was like, dude, you changed my fucking life. You taught me boundaries. And I was like, whoa, wait a second. So like for the low price of $3,000, you came to my coaching show and you ended up learning boundaries. How the fuck can I put a financial dollar sign on learning how to fucking communicate boundaries effectively?
But you know what? For some people, that might not occur to them as a valuable thing. And
Right.
for other people, they might. And so I feel like people get very caught up on the difference between price and value. I did a post about this recently talking about tattoo supplies. I like to like do audits and analysis of like things like from a financial standpoint. So if the listener, if you, Robbie, if myself, look back through our lives and say, how much did it financially cost me to not put proper boundaries in place in my life?
Yeah.
Like I think of the jobs, the toxic shops that I worked for that I didn't set proper boundaries. I think of the people, I think of the relationships I was in that I didn't set proper boundaries and what it cost me in time, money, energy, and just aliveness.
Dude.
Like we're talking tens of thousands, if not over
Hundreds.
6 figures of what it costs us to not confidently put boundaries in place. And I love even when you mentioned like your name and like kind of setting that boundary, like it takes a big person to just say that, because you have to acknowledge that you're not responsible for the way I feel. And I'm not responsible for the way you feel. Most people don't live life like that. They live life like I have to hold everyone else's feelings as if they are my responsibility. And you don't. You can't. So being able to set boundaries means I'm going to give up trying to control the way you feel and think. I'm going to be responsible for the way I feel and think. I'm going to allow you. You're a big human being. You're a grown-ass man. You are a fucking adult. I'm going to let you control your own fucking feelings. Yep. And so you can speak to me and say, hey, Ryan, this is the way my last name's pronounced. And it's like, cool. And then I'm a grown-ass adult, and I can be like, cool. Thank you for being clear about that.
Dude.
End of fucking story. You know, like, it's not a big deal.
It's funny because, like, not setting boundaries cost me over $100,000 in my business.
Yeah.
So, like, if I would have been doing the boundary work that I'm finally doing, and it's funny, the boundary work I'm doing internally is all a result of getting stolen from, getting beaten down, getting kicked, getting told I'm no good,
right.
You know, and I'm like, okay, wait a second. So they're right. I was no good at certain parts of our relationship. But what about all this that I was very good? So I'm like, all right, so I know I bring lots of good and I know I bring some bad. So how do I make sure that I use the bad in the right way so I'm killing demons instead of killing people? You know, like, and learn how to use my good to where nobody has to die and everybody gets to feel loved, including the demons that I just fought. You know, like, so it's a very weird balance of figuring out how it all works. And then the boundaries are super important. And so back to, you know, feeling like I was a fraud as a coach, right? So if I would have learned boundaries for $3,000 from somebody, then maybe I would have not been stolen from so heavy in my tattoo business. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I have this weird thing. When I look at myself as a coach, I minimize who Robbie is, what Robbie does, and the effectiveness of his coaching. This is a past version of me, right?
Sure. No, it's good to define that. That is who I was, and that is no longer who I am. Yeah.
And this seminar I recently did, and just the interactions I've had recently stepped me the fuck into this new version of myself that knows, hey, holy shit, I'm fucking powerful. I've helped people learn how to breathe in fucking stressful situations. I've helped people learn how to fucking create boundaries. I've helped people learn how to fucking get unstuck from their situation. I've helped people fucking grieve losses of things like, you know, divorce and stuff like that. All in my coaching programs and a plethora of other things that I literally watched these people get help with from me and my coaching. And because I had such a deep imposter syndrome, I stayed away from doing that again.
If you've been enjoying this episode or found my podcast helpful and you think other people would benefit from listening, then all I ask in return is please leave a quick review or subscribe. It'll take just 1 minute and it might help other tattooers and artists find this podcast and help them. So please, it would mean the world to me and it might make a difference for someone else. Thanks.
And like, so hard conversations, right? Let's have one.
Yeah. I'm a big Alex Hormozy fan, and something he says is most people are 1 or 2 tough conversations away from the life they want to live, or the freedom, or the next stage, or the next step. It's like those are the things that are keeping. It's literally the gate through which you have to walk to get to the next level is 1 or 2 difficult conversations, and most people go their whole fucking lives without having that conversation.
And I'm having hard conversations daily, it seems.
Yeah. That's how you grow, right? That's it.
And
I know what you mean.
And that's how you work through all the hard conversations to find the 1 or 2, you know, because like you got to go through 5,000, 5 million to get to that 1 or 2. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to my business and boundaries, I've realized that the people that hurt me, that are no longer with me, they no longer get to dictate how I communicate moving forward. So I was terrified with this new guy in my shop to tell him some real shit. And I was like, I was ready to fire the dude because I was afraid to have the conversation. And so
that's what we do, right? There's something that's confronting. We get angry, and it's like, oh wait, this anger is actually telling me something that I need to set a boundary, or I need to communicate something. But I'm getting angry to avoid having the conversation that I need to have. Right.
And like my manager has 2 kids, and she comes over, and her kids play with my kid, and like we just all have fun, right? So one of those days, the kids are playing, and I'm just like cussing and yelling about this is fucking shit and this fucking shit. And she's like, bro, have a conversation with the dude. She's like, it ain't time to get rid of this dude. Like, we've been gone through a lot of people. And I'll tell you when it's time to get rid of them, this ain't it. You're just frustrated. And this is a 24-year-old girl, dog. Like, so I'm not used to like small young people, and she's tiny as a person, but small young people looking at me and saying, hey, dog, straighten up. And so I love this about her. Boundaries, right? She knows how to step inside of the proper boundaries to help me shift my perspective. So took me into a hard conversation with homie. And he's like, dude, you don't have to be afraid to have these conversations. I want to get better too. And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Fuck you. What do you mean? Like, I was expecting you to lose your shit and get mad at me and then lose an artist and lose a friend. And then I have to feel worse about myself. But like, that's the thing about getting past that threshold of imposter syndrome. Like, as a business owner, as a tattoo mentor, bitch, I'm damn near bulletproof. You know, I got an Achilles heel in there somewhere, but like, I'm very good at doing that shit. So why would I be afraid of telling you, hey, I'm coaching you towards greatness here. Just please listen. But I'm terrified. You know?
I find that when we talk to people, and this is for anyone listening too, when you talk to people as if who you're talking to is the big human being that can have that conversation. If you talk to someone like, yeah, they are going to get mad, or they can't handle this, or they're going to wreck. But if you just say to yourself before going into that conversation, like, no, I'm talking to a big person, like a powerful, big, capable adult human being.
Yeah.
Like, let me talk to them like that, because they're going to receive it like that. And then they're going to talk back to you like that.
100%. And so that's what brings me to this difficult conversation. All right. So when you and I were in that coaching program together, I messaged you, and this left a bad taste in my mouth. And I'm very glad we're here now, because we started speaking, and then I asked a question that was important to me, and then your life probably got busy and you never responded. And I was like, damn, I thought me and Ryan were building a relationship. I think he hates me. And like, right? But like,
shame.
How many times? Right. How many times have I been on the other side of it? Right.
Yeah.
You know, and so then the guilt and shame on my end is like, well, what if I'm one of those conversations where I asked the wrong question and now he doesn't want to talk to me anymore. And so now he walked away from me. So I ruminated my shit, not your shit.
Well, this is great. You want to bring it full circle? I think when you reached out to me, I was going through one of the most brutal divorces. Like, it was just like a brutal experience in my, and in all honesty, me and her are on great terms. I have nothing bad to say about the mother of my daughter, and she's one of my best friends. But it was a emotionally fucking moment in my life So I was dealing with that, and I probably just didn't see it. And
Totally.
and it's
Totally.
but I totally get we make these that must
the
mean
narratives.
this.
Yes.
We make the narratives, yeah.
And it was wild. So I have had reverence for you the whole time. The whole fucking time. So I've been in this weird place. You're a coach. So now I got a coach that I have reverence for, that I also have disdain for because he hurt my feelings because he fucking left me on red. So I'm like, cool, great. He's just like the rest of them. Right?
Oh, man. Wow.
And
that's cool. That's cool
right?
that this can kind of come full circle like that. I like it.
Absolutely. And I've been wrestling with you, man. I've been like, he's doing good in this world. So that's why I invited you into the fucking group, the community support group. And then when I was like highlighting people the other day, or like saying, hey, we have, you know, my financial advisor in here and we have this coach and this coach, I wanted to talk about you specifically because I'm like, all right, so I've run around hearing lots of stuff about this guy and none of it's bad. All of it's life-changing, quality fucking stuff about you. And I'm like, well, if somebody heard one bad thing about me or had one bad interaction with me, and then the rest of the tattoo world is saying Robbie's dope, I wouldn't want them to feel that way. So, and then also reverence. When you have reverence for somebody, you want an attaboy from him. You want a friendship with him. You want a relationship with him. You don't just want to be like, fuck that guy. I had reverence for him and he didn't love me the way I needed to be loved, right? Well, because I'm emotionally intelligent, because I'm open and aware, and because I look at my emotions and see what they're fucking telling me, I realized, okay, I'm scared of coaches. And I asked this dude how I can grow my coaching business, and he was too busy and didn't get to it. So now I'm sitting here, I'm like, with my dick in my hand, like, I asked how to grow my coaching business, and you could have just said no. So like, but as a human, as a real man who has life and struggles and businesses and children and shit going on, I understand why you didn't get to it. And then so I was like, you know what? I'm not going to let myself dig a grave of resentment towards somebody I have reverence for.
Yeah.
So
I'm so glad you posted me, because like I've just been aware of you, and I'm like, oh, I like his vibe. I like what this guy's doing. He's fucking authentic. He's sharing it. He's emanating an energy that I think is healing the tattoo industry. That's what I think of you. That's been my opinion of you this whole time. From the outskirts. Yeah. And I would fucking love to talk about growing your tattoo, your coaching business. Like, growing a coaching business, we were saying before, is fucking ridiculous. Like, it's hard. And then it is not common in the tattoo industry. Yeah. Coaching is not normalized in tattooing, and there are a lot of fucking snakes in the grass. Yeah. So, like, I always tell people, like, be skeptical of me. You should be fucking skeptical of me. I'm some dude on Instagram talking about money. That's fucking weird. Like, be cautious and listen to what other people say. And so feel like I'm alone on a desert. You know, one of my other good friends, Reese Hilburn, she's another, tattoo. Reese is fucking amazing. Like, sometimes I feel like I'm alone on an island trying to do this crazy thing, and all I fucking want is to connect with other coaches and tattoo coaches so we can just like talk about this shit. Like, dude, I need a support group for this, because it's fucking, it's crazy.
It's crazy on these streets because everybody's a coach for everything now. Like there's fucking sexual energy coaches and like all kinds of like obscure coaches, but like one of the things I've learned in my coaching is there's a need for this. You knew it. Like, they need money management. Like, bro, my empire had to fall a couple times for me to realize, holy shit, I need to figure some shit out with that financially, right? Yeah. And then emotionally, bro, one time I was at dinner with my oldest son and Donna, and it was Olive Garden, and all of a sudden they were like, I remember the scene, that's why I had to say it was Olive Garden, because I just remember sitting there, and they were like, yo, you are a person who wasn't taught how to regulate his emotions, and to see how far you've come in regulating your emotions. And it came from Donna, who was there for a couple of years, and Jaden, who was there his whole life. And they were like, dude, just to see the human you've turned into with emotional regulation is brilliant. So look, if I've fucking taught myself, a big, angry, crazy Cuban-Italian man who's been a tattooer his whole life, who's the youngest of 3 brothers, who's like struggling somewhere between I need to love everybody and I need to kill everybody. If I can find emotional regulation here, well, fuck, I can help you find it in you. And so, like, let's talk about coaching, bro. The only reason why I stepped into the fucking coaching space is because I fucking needed to, and I was already doing it, bitch. You know, like
Yeah.
I was a tattooer for my whole life. I'm almost 30 years in now. So like my whole life, I've been helping people with their shit. I remember being a kid before tattooing, going to Disney with a couple of our teachers and my parents. My parents always made friends with the teachers at school. So we went on a fucking family trip to Disney, and I'm with the teacher's friend, a lady in her 40s, and I'm like 14. And she's like, "You're an old soul. You just taught me some shit about myself today that I never realized I'd learned from a kid." And I'm like, damn. So this whole life, I've been a teacher, I've been a healer, I've been a grower, I've been a learner, I've been an intuitive, empathic healer. Didn't know that at 14. But having people be that mind blown at such an elevated age in comparison to mine, I'm like, okay, cool. I have something here. There's something valuable here. And then I had to push through my years of imposter syndrome. So then, you know, tattooing. I have heard so many people say in my chair, outside of my chair, I have been to therapy my whole life, and no one's ever made therapy so simple as you've made it. Now, look,
I feel like there are a lot of tattooers out there that have that healing
right.
ability, and we do become therapists. I've definitely been there. Yeah.
Right. And look, here's the thing. I am not claiming to be your therapist. I have a therapeutic nature to how I approach life. You know, because I need therapy. So if I fucking create therapeutic natures around everything I do, I need less therapy because I got more therapeutic fucking input. So I am a therapeutic asset to have in your healing toolbox. Go to your therapist. Go to your fucking psychiatrist. Do everything you need to fucking do outside of what we do. But I have learned that in my chair, there is fucking magic. And the magic isn't the chair. It isn't the needle. It isn't the art. It is me. And that is hard to fucking say. I finally have stepped into being able to say that, right? Like, I am the magic that I bring to this part of the business. So when you sit in my chair, just like yesterday, homie and I, Cuban dude, fucking had a 6'4" scary Cuban dad that didn't know how to access his emotions. And like, whoa, like this dude goes, I can't believe I'm just here spilling all of my stuff to you. I don't do this. And I'm like, welcome. This is what I do. And like, I've heard this too much to not finally be, all right, I'm a coach. Like I was watching this show, The Big C on Cinemax or some shit years ago. It was about a lady who had cancer. Short series, the lady dies at the end. Sad story, right? I took from this how her husband became a motivational speaker, and I was like, I want to do that. At a young age, I was like, I want to do that. And then when I was seeing all these motivational speakers, when I Googled how to be happy and like hated life, I was like, man, I keep fucking finding these guys. Why don't I be that? Why don't I be the Tony Robbins for the tattoo industry? Because like, we need it. You know, Tony Robbins might be a bad guy. I don't know. All I know is he's brought a lot of value into my life. So if I look at it like this, I'm trying to be a good guy. I'm trying to bring value to people. And I've brought so much value for so many years that I can no longer deny I bring value. And I think that's the thing that gets me finally now able to step into being a coach. And I think the reason why I share all this is for any viewers out there.
I was just thinking that. I was like, how many people are going to hear this conversation and realize that they have something to offer to impact people's lives, to make the world a better place? And you get to hear the fear in owning that. There's so much fucking fear and imposter syndrome. I fucking deal with it. And you deal with it. Like, and you have to do it like some coach, I'm forgetting his quote about fear, you know, about courage. He's like, you know, fear is pissing your pants, and courage is pissing your pants and doing it anyway. And I'm not afraid to call myself a coach online. I'm not afraid to say that I, you know, want to help people and heal and help them manage their money. I am afraid to say all that stuff because I know what some people think of that, and that there will be judgment, and I have to do it anyway. If that's the price I have to pay to make the impact on the world I want to make, I'll pay that price every day.
100%. And that's where I've gotten to. I posted a comedic skit the other day, and this comment struck me, dude, hard, in a beautiful way. You're saving people's lives. Fuck you mean? This is comedy right here. This ain't a fucking real post. This is comedy. This isn't me talking about how to fucking dive into your emotions, how to access your emotions, how to love yourself, how to take care of yourself, how to fucking be gentle with yourself, have grace for yourself, how to fucking breathe, how to set boundaries. This isn't me saying any of that shit. I think it was like the fart and waft when the client's in your chair, and like, so like these things I did are so silly, and like somebody said you're saving fucking lives because of a comedy post. What the fuck? So like I can either be like, you're an idiot for saying that, which is my old default response. You saved my life. You're a fucking moron. I didn't do shit. Right? That was like the way I thought about things. And now it's like, it goes back to my first life coach I ever had. He said, what happens if you stop doing the Rad Movement? I says, I don't know. He goes, well, you said you saved lives, right? Because people have told you saved their lives. I'm like, yeah. He goes, well, people are going to fucking die if you stop the Rad Movement. And I'm like, ugh, what do you mean? Right? I had to step into the reality of people are going to fucking die if I don't put my message out there. Because my message is completely shrouded with almost death. Yeah. You know, like my seminar on how to cry, or it was the Tattooers Do Cry. It was me just, somebody called it trauma dumping. And I was like, that hurt the way you called it that. But at the end of the day, I did just unload a lot on people. It was like, look, you want to learn how to cry? This is how. Talk about things that suck dick for coke and that have happened to you and you didn't even want them to, and cry about it and move through it.
Dude, and I can I just say that I love crying?
Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
I fucking love crying.
Do you still have guilt and shame around it? Because I love it, but I still get guilt and shame around it.
I don't have guilt or shame around it. I cried in the middle of I was teaching a class the other day, like 30 people in my course, and I fucking started crying in the middle because I had this moment where I was like, realized like, oh shit, tomorrow, this is 2 days ago, I was like, tomorrow I have 11 years sober, and like I just got struck with how insane that was, and I just started breaking down crying. I fucking love crying.
It's so helpful. It's so useful. Like, dude,
you need to do it. You have so
really
much pent up weird fucking shit. Just fucking cry. Like, do it. Like, it feels fucking amazing. Like, orgasms and crying. Like, fuck yeah.
Well, and here's the thing.
Let me see my camera here.
How did that happen? Did you do that on purpose?
I didn't do that on purpose. No, it's a fucking reaction thing that's built into the fucking program. Often I delete it out of there, but hopefully I'll record that and save that one.
Keep that. That was brilliant. And that was one of the things. So years ago, because I've been doing this Rad Movement shit for years, bro. Almost 10 years ago, I was at Hell City, Phoenix, and I did 3 days of seminars back to back. And like, I thought I was supposed to do like as long as I could. So every day I did as long of a seminar as I could. And it was wild how I did these things and I didn't even realize that I was making an impact. I didn't realize that I was at Hell City doing this, right? Especially because it was Phoenix. It wasn't the main Hell City, so it was no big deal, right? I have this way of like diminishing all my accomplishments. And
don't we all?
Right. And I was so afraid of crying back then. I was so afraid of my emotions, but I was teaching emotional work. So, you know, here I am now, another divorce under my belt, lost another fucking shop, made my studio like 25 grand shy of $1 million. And then I think they saw that and they started stealing from me. So I was doing great and everything was great. And then they started stealing from me. And then the artists rallied together and left me. And, you know, now I'm stuck with this studio with myself, a piercer, a manager, and that's where we are. Actually, I got a new artist coming in this week. So it's just really weird how I've been at all these different places of it. And all that wobbliness, all that wiggliness made me feel so not qualified. When really all of that made me so qualified. And every step of the way, it was laden with tears. Like, dude, I cry a lot. And I used to like drink a lot. And then I would cry and I didn't really know what I was crying about. And now it's like this beautiful thing where like, I don't really like to drink the way I used to. Drinking is something I do if I feel like knowing I'm going to need recovery and I might embarrass myself. So if I'm going to do that, I put those together beforehand. I make it a safe space for myself and those around me, right? So it's really weird that like crying has become this natural part of my daily stuff. I taught this seminar and it was like a week and a half, almost 2 weeks, every single day. I had a major crying fit. And I was like, damn, I must have really unlocked something in that work I did with those folks. And it's cool because like the more I cry, the more I lean into it.
If you're serious about taking control of your money and your financial future, I have 2 seminars that I want to share with you. These are completely free. You can find the link down in the show notes. One is on a 3-step marketing formula that has helped tattooers earn thousands more per month and honestly reshapes the entire way that you think about marketing yourself. And the other goes in depth into a blueprint that you can follow to create financial stability as an artist earning a regular income so that you can properly deal with taxes, save and invest for the future and buy a house, retirement, and all that fun stuff. So just check out the links in the show notes to get the recordings of these free seminars.
And let me give you a short story about crying.
Yeah.
Picture this, Ink Master, 2014. It's the first episode, and I cry on camera.
Well, I didn't see it. What happened?
Fought with my brother because that was the thing, right? It was the rival season. Me and my brother still.
Okay.
Actually, my brother has a rivalry with me. I'd like to resolve it, but he doesn't want to, so I do not want to.
Sure.
I'm not begging nobody for love no more, right?
Yeah.
So I had to acknowledge that. And through this whole thing on TV, we literally aired our shit on TV, which is weird, fucked up, scary, stupid, and brilliant.
Yeah, totally.
Right, because it taught me a lot, you know? So that's that first thing. It was, as soon as we went there to film, I was still very angry at him because he had shut me out. And he was like, you know what? Let's win this thing together. We're cool now. And I'm like, wait. No, we have a lot of talking to do. We have a lot of things to work through. He's like, no, leave it alone. We're fine. Let's just win this thing together. So now when we get on camera, he's fighting with me on camera for TV's sake. But off camera, he's telling me we're cool.
Right.
So on camera, we're fighting.
Just to let everyone know how totally real Ink Master is, you know.
Totally real. So real.
Super real.
It's so produced. When I yelled at the head producer one day, she goes, look, it's a real reaction to a produced situation.
Right. I applied to go on. They invited me in for an interview. Mm-hmm. And this is how yeah, I know. It doesn't mean anything. But this is how I knew instantly I wasn't going to get picked because it had nothing to do with my tattooing. They were like, okay, we want you to look in the camera and we want you to say, I'm going to be the next Ink Master because I am fucking awesome. And they're like, that's what they told me to do. And this is what I did. I was like, I'm going to be the next Ink Master. Like, I just couldn't fucking do it. And I was so like, unnatural. They're not going to pick me.
It's so unnatural to play the game that they want you to play. And so I want to run back to something real quick.
Yeah.
When I said that they interview thousands, you were like, yeah, no, I had no chance or something like that. No. I'm saying they interview thousands of people. They fucking go through so much work to find what fits.
Right.
Because not everything fits. I am a big, loud, scared, scary man on a rivals season.
Right. Perfect.
With the most brilliant rivalry of all, a brother.
Right.
You know, like, who hasn't fought with their siblings? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I have a younger brother. Oh, yeah.
Right. So it was weird. I know I was picked because I fit a character and I fit a storyline, not because I'm the best in the biz. I'm lucky. I'm really lucky because having that is like a fucking championship fucking belt, dude. You know, like it hangs everywhere and we use it in marketing. And like I had people say the other day, like, yeah, you know, we had all these recommendations at different shops, but you were on TV. And like, I was like, damn, that's pretty cool. You know, and then I found out that they also went to another dude who was on TV's shop, who just happened to be my brother. And they felt more comfortable with us.
Yeah.
Even though they didn't get tattooed by us. But the beautiful thing there was when the artist that tattooed them left, me and Donna sat with them for another 2 fucking hours after the shop was closed and like life coached them all through like heavy shit. Like, dude, we was all crying.
After the tattoo session.
After the tattoo session.
Oh, yeah.
People that I didn't tattoo that were there just to meet the guy from TV ended up fucking crying together with me and growing as people. And this was a couple days after the fucking crying seminar. So I'm like, this crying magic is everywhere. You know?
Yeah.
And,
you know, I look at money as is simply it's a flow of energy, right? Yeah. It's not just the paper or the number on your screen. It comes in many forms. Abundance comes in many forms. And really, it's not that you need to find money or create money. Money, energy, abundance, creativity is all around you all the time. And all you have to do is acknowledge the blocks, the energetic, emotional stuckness within you, and do the inner work to remove those blocks. And the more you do it, the more you find that this thing we call money, this energy, naturally wants to flow into your life. And all you have to do is not block the flow. So by crying and really fucking letting it, I mean, sometimes I've fucking the past couple years have been fucking hard for me. I have let it the fuck, I've scream cried. I have it. You feel so good afterwards. You feel emptied out. You feel emptied out. And it's like, that is energetic. That is a stagnant energy that is inside of you that needs to come out. And if it doesn't, it's going to hinder you in all sorts of ways that you probably will not be aware of because you're inside the fishbowl.
Right. Absolutely.
You can't even see it.
Absolutely. Yeah. I too believe the energetic money flow thing. The hardest thing for me was creating the removal of blockages, right?
That's the hardest fucking thing.
I've been diving into Ganesha a lot in the past few years. Ganesha is the remover of obstacles.
Yeah.
Don't do that unless you want your life to crumble so you can fucking dig through the pieces.
When we ask for that healing, or we ask for that manifestation, or the mother, Ganesha, the energies, they come and they will slap the shit out of you, but because they love you. Because they fucking love you. And you need that, and they know you can take it.
And it's funny, so I do this thing where I go through things before the masses, and then when the masses are going through it, I'm like, y'all are pussies, I just went through this. So losing my leg, went through that, right? Had my leg fucking amputated, COVID hits. So 3 weeks after I had my leg amputated, COVID hits. So 2 weeks after the amputation, I'm on the fucking road. On the road with a fresh amputation. Doc was cool. He's like, go do it. Have fun. You sit for work. You'll be fine. Don't fall. I was like, okay, cool. So I'm on the road. It actually was a great part of my healing. Kept me occupied. But I was on the road, and then COVID happened. So now the last convention we're doing, we lose all this money on. So then I go home, and we just move into this fucking house. Now I can't pay rent. I'm opening a tattoo studio. I can't fucking afford to do that. So I'm tattooing people at my kitchen table.
You're legless, broken, homeless.
Yeah. Well, I'm not homeless at the time. I had a home.
Almost.
I just wasn't paying rent at the home, so I could afford to open my studio. So I'm like, and everybody's like, COVID, oh my God, blah, blah. I'm like, you really worried about being locked down? Bitch, I've been locked down this whole year before this. So woo, all right. I get the practice that I needed to run the race along with the masses. So I got the practice on being isolated. And then when I got isolated, I was like, cool, great. I'm just going to quietly mingle in and out and open my studio and go to Home Depot and buy all the paint, all the pink paint that I can in Brevard County, because I literally cleared all the Michaels and Hobby Lobbies of all the fucking pink iron lac paint because I was doing a mural on the floor. Cool. So Robbie Ripoll, Robbie Ripoll, on all the social media platforms. And then the Rad Movement is also on all social media platforms and YouTube. So I'm building my YouTube, been doing that for a while. And the Rad Movement has everything from me actually physically losing my leg. I have the accident filmed.
Wow.
Because I did motivational speaking before I went up on hooks. So we had it all filmed, and I was like, well, let's just throw this on YouTube. Fast forward to this. I had been being stolen from for 2 years before the recession. So I had TBM and Clemmer telling me how to run my business, and it was all not great information that didn't fit the access points that I had. So I had my business falling apart the last fucking 2.5 years. And then the recession hits. Now those people that have been fucking stealing and shitting on me, they all fucking disappeared. So now my business decided to rise up because they were fucking starving my books as well as stealing money from me. Yeah. So now these people are like, oh, we're in a recession. I'm like, wow, you're a bunch of pussies. I'm doing good now. because my pre-recession felt like the recession. I'd been fucking starving. So then now I'm in this recession and I'm not being starved. So now I'm doing well. So I have this fun way of getting through shit. I step in shit and come out smelling like roses. And like I have this way of doing it before other people. I get more practice. So that way when I'm in it with the masses, I feel a little easier. So yeah. That was the point I wanted to make there. It's funny, if you find yourself going through it hard and then you find other people are also going through it hard after you made it through, that's beautiful. Because now you can assist them in that and you get to heal. And that knowing that my business is hard right now, like my tattoo shop is hard, but my tattoo business is great. So I know that my tattoo business is great and the tattoo shop will get great again. And that's fine. So it's a good thing and it's beautiful and it's healing to know that I'll make it. So
awesome,
yeah.
dude. If you could just leave us with one message, one last thing, if you just had to scream from the rooftops, one message to the world, what would that be?
Don't give up. ... on yourself.
Yeah.
Because we always give up. We always give up. Right? Like the outsider looking in could be like, you're about to get there and I'm gassed out, so I won't get there. I won't believe them. And I'm giving up on me. Because when I give up on my goals, then I don't achieve my goals. So don't give up on yourself. That's biggest takeaway that I can give. Yeah.
Love it. And how can people find you? Where should they go to seek you out if they want to check out your work?
Cool. So Robbie Ripoll, Robbie Ripoll, on all the social media platforms. And then the Rad Movement is also on all social media platforms and YouTube. So I'm building my YouTube, been doing that for a while. And the Rad Movement has everything from me actually physically losing my leg. I have the accident filmed.
Wow.
Yeah, because I did motivational speaking before I went up on hooks. So we had it all filmed. And I was like, well, let's just throw this on YouTube.
Was that in Florida?
It was in Kansas City.
Oh, in Kansas City. Because it was a suspension thing?
Yep.
I used to do suspension back in the day.
Okay.
With Disgraceland.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Spliff and all them.
Okay.
And one year, I wasn't doing it with them, but they had a guy up on a crane. I don't know what happened. Jimmy, is that? Yeah. And
that was in Florida.
Compound fracture.
I
was there for that. I saw the whole thing. Yeah.
I was at that fucking show in the room that had the glass windows that could see out. Yeah, dude, it was crazy. When I fell.
That's wild.
When I fell and heard my leg break, I remember having the thought of, oh, this is what Jimmy probably fucking felt like.
Yeah. Wow.
Because he had double compound fractures on both legs.
I saw the whole thing happen. Yeah.
He kept his legs. I did not. Yeah. And he fell from way higher than I fell.
Wow.
Yeah, he was like 30 feet up. It was dumb. I was like 6.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, dude, I look forward to catching up more with you. So
absolutely.
I'm going to give you my number. We can connect, and I look forward to that. Thank you for coming on and chatting with me and talking the real talk. I really appreciate it.
Dude, and thank you, man. I'm glad that I didn't allow my fears of you not liking me or not wanting to fuck with me to get in the way of this, because this is already the beginning of a really beautiful fucking relationship, and I love that, man. So thank you for being awesome. Thank you for welcoming in to your circle, and I'm excited to see what kind of magic we can create together in the future, even if it's just side by side,
absolutely
separately doing our things. Fuck yeah, let's change the world together, homie. That's what it's all about for me. So
absolutely, man.
I'm glad to connect.
Be well. I will talk to you soon. Thank you.
My man, thank you. Much love.
Hey, I hope you enjoyed the show. Again, I just want to prompt that if you got some value out of this conversation, please go and leave us a rating and a review on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you saw this podcast. It really helps me out, and it really helps other people to find this podcast. I want more people to have these types of conversations around money so that we can all be more free and at ease and abundant and able to create the lives that we really want to live. So please share this and rate and review. Appreciate it. Thanks. Bye.